Hello everyone, a very good morning. Welcome to Oliveboard. I am Anshul, your CIB mentor, and today I'm here to introduce you to the BRBL paper for your Foundation 2.0 course. So now that you are done with your BRBL paper, and for those who are preparing, you have seen how good the result was, what was the difficulty level, and which type of questions were asked. I am sure you would have an analysis of the paper for the June 2025 cycle. So, for those who are preparing for the November cycle, this batch is for you. All right. So today we are just going to discuss the syllabus, basic things, the paper pattern, how do we need to study, the module priority, all the basics that you need to have before you start with your preparation for any exam. All right. So let us begin. Also, this is the Foundation 2.0. We are going to start with the classes very soon. This is going to be a live batch. All your classes will be live. You'll also get it in recording. So you can access the recorded videos anytime 24/7. Complete syllabus coverage for all the CIB papers you're going to get. I will be taking your BRBL paper in English medium. Other mentors also will be there. So this particular batch will be in complete English medium. Your content as well as English. Your content and explanation, both of them are going to be in English medium. All right. So let us start. Foremost, whenever we are preparing, we need to have an idea about what should be our strategy. So in this foundation course, we are going to proceed in three levels. First, we will build a strong basics. Strong base is important because this is a paper that is quite demanding. There are so many acts that you need to study. There are so many provisions, appeals. There are the contraventions of the acts, the appellate authorities, the limitation period for each of the act. So all of these topics are quite extensive and you need to understand how you're going to analyze them, how you're going to prepare them. Then in the second level, we'll be forming for us the strong foundation. So in this foundation, we will revise. Revision is very important in this paper because again, so many things are there to remember. If you try to just mug up things, it won't be possible to have the conceptual clarity. So to get the conceptual clarity, you need to revise. And then finally, at the advanced level, we are going to now prepare exam specific. So first, we will build for ourselves a strong basics. Then we will move to our foundational level preparation and then exam specific that will be focused on the topics that are the most probable ones in the exam so that you can qualify your paper. If we talk about the types of questions that are asked, you get direct MCQs that are fact based with four options. You also get the statement type questions that are multiple selection. So you need to select, and these type of questions are quite lengthy. Even in this exam, the questions were lengthy and it took a lot of time for the aspirants to understand what was the question exactly asking us. So you need to have an understanding of how you can solve the statement type questions. There were also many questions, around 10 to 12 questions with no options. So direct statement question will be given and you need to answer. You won't be given any options. And then the most important part for our BRBL paper are the case studies on all the concepts, whether we are talking about the contract, how a contract is formed. There's a contract of indemnity, there's a contract of bailment, there's a contract of agency. So, what are the valid requirements to form a contract? Or if we are talking about the Sales of Goods Act, so what is, how do you form it there? All right, so all of these type of questions you should understand. Then the strategy, first we will complete the syllabus. Although whenever we discuss about the priority, the module C and module D have a greater weightage, they have more priority. But now the institute is dividing the marks almost equally. So from module A also increasing number of questions are being asked. So do not skip any module thinking that it is not important. Module A has various provisions from the Banking Regulation Act, RBI Act. There were so many questions from the paid up capital requirements for the RRBs, for the LABs, then the requirement for the foreign banks setting up branches in India or the Indian banks, NBFCs. All right. So we need to cover all the modules. We need to practice mock tests so that we can evaluate and analyze our preparation. So weekly mock tests, you'll be getting full length mock tests as well as sectional. So as and when you get time, whenever you are done with one module, you can simply go and give one mock test to analyze how well is your preparation. And you should follow the exam specific notes. So along with the live classes, the content that we're using there, you'll get the content in the downloadable PDF form. So you can download the PDFs and access it anytime for your revision. What I suggest is when we are having the classes, probably in the morning, let's say, then after that, any time during the day, download the PDF and just go through the notes once. Glance through it. So that if you come across any doubts in the next session, you can ask me. And then revision, re-revision to have the best understanding. After every module is over, we are going to have a revision class in which we'll be practicing the MCQs. This will be a doubt clearing session live where you can ask me any questions, any queries. All right. So this is our strategy. If we talk about our syllabus, so there are four modules in the BRBL syllabus. The module A is the regulations and compliance. Module B, the important acts, laws related to banking operations, part A. Part B of it is the module C, and module D are the commercial and other laws. The most important modules are module C and module D on the basis of priority. So first on our priority list will be module D, second will be module C, and then we have module B and A. So third will be module B and fourth will be module A. But this time also from module B, there were so many questions from the types of mortgages, how a pledge is created, the parties involved in the indemnity. So I would suggest you go through the exam analysis also before you start with your preparation. The type of questions asked, the topics asked, the level of difficulty. It will help you analyze where you stand now and how you need to proceed, how much effort you need to give. All right. So these are the four modules. Now, these are the chapters, or rather, I will say acts. So there are 7 units in our module A. These units basically revolve around two acts. We have the Banking Regulation Act and the Reserve Bank of India Act. All right. So the basic structure of banks. What are the important activities? What are the prohibited business? The licensing requirements? How RBI regulates the bank? Is there some power given to the central government to regulate the banking business? The returns, inspections, winding ups. Then what are the framing requirements of the public sector, private sector banks, their licensing norms? NBFCs, the four regulatory levels of NBFCs based on their asset size, and then the financial sector legislative reforms. All the units are important. The most important units being the returns, inspection, winding up, mergers, and acquisition, where the scheme prepared by government or the courts are there. Then the public sector, private sector banks, and NBFCs. These are the most important units. Then we come to module B. Module B, basically, there are 6 units and there are acts. The Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which talks about how the banking companies play a role in preventing money laundering. So, what are their requirements? How do they need to maintain the records? Which records have to be maintained? How do they have to furnish it to the directors? What will be the penalty for not furnishing? Then we have the Negotiable Instruments Act again, which is very important. The characteristics of the bill of exchange, check, promissory note, protection given to the paying banker, collecting banker, holder for value, holder in due course. All of these terms are there, right? Section 143A, Section 148, which talks about the interim compensation. Then we have the Foreign Exchange Management Act, which deals with whenever you are acquiring any property, you are buying, selling assets in the foreign market. What are the limitations there, the role of authorized persons and RBI? Payment and Settlement Systems Act, if any company wants to set up a payment and settlement system, they require registration from RBI. RBI can also cancel it. In how many days they can make an appeal? This question was also there. Then the laws related to securities and modes of charge, where we'll be studying the different types of mortgages. Part two of it, the other types, where we'll be studying the appropriation, assignment, set off, bankers lien, hypothecation. And finally, the chapter 7, the creation, registration, and satisfaction of charges. So, what is a charge? The types of charges, what is the priority of charges, these things. That is module A and module B. Now, in this Foundation 2.0 course, we are going to start with module C. All right, Module C has some very important acts like the RBI Integrated Ombudsman Scheme. So, what is the procedure for filing a complaint? What is the meaning of deficiency of services? Which complaints are non-maintainable? Then the MSMED Act for the delayed payment to the MSME, the penalty that the buyer needs to pay, the rights that they have. The SURFACI Act, the most lengthy act of our whole syllabus. So many things are there, right? How the ARCs work. What will be the regulation of the banks, how appeals can be made. Recovery of Debts and Bankruptcy Act again is a lengthy one. Then we have the IBC code, insolvency and bankruptcy code. So we need to study about the pillars under IBC, the corporate insolvency resolution process, the role of interim resolution professionals, the committee of creditors, very important chapter. The Bankers Books Evidence Act, quite simple. Basically, how certified copies are presented as evidence on the place of or as an alternative to the original books. The Legal Services Authority Act, which talks about the engagement, jurisdiction, powers, award of lok adalat. Then the Consumer Protection Act, again, if there is any unfair trade practice, if there is any unfair trade contract, how can the consumer seek redressal from the councils, the commissions, the protection authorities, the jurisdiction of each of the commission? And then we have the law of limitation and tax laws, which are very simple. Tax laws is one unit from module C that I would say is not that important, but we are not going to skip it. We will still study it. And the law of limitation, there's basically a table under which the various suits are given from when the limitation period starts and how many days basically the suit can be filed. All right. So that is the module C. And the last module, the most important module, is module D. So the Indian Contract Acts, the different types of contracts, the legal characteristics of a contract, indemnity, guarantee, agency, pledge, bailment. Then we have the Sales of Goods Act. What is the difference between a sale and an agreement to sell? What are the rights available to the unpaid seller? The right to stoppage in transit, the right to exercise lien, when can they have compensation, right? Indian Partnership Act deals with the partnership firms with unlimited liability, the relations of one partner with others, with third parties. Companies Act, very important. So many questions were there from the Companies Act. So the directors, how to form the members, can a minor be admitted? All of these things are there. And then we have the Limited Liability Partnership Act. Transfer of Property Act is basically a repetition, so we'll be studying about the mortgages again, and then the actionable claims also. Then we have the Right to Information Act from the public offices, public officers, every person, citizens, they have the right to seek information. So, what is the procedure for filing the application? How the public information officer, in how many days the information has to be given? 30 days, 48 days, 48 hours in some cases even. Then how can we make an appeal if I do not get satisfactory response or if I get misleading, incomplete information? Right to information and their obligations, The Information Technology Act, again, if anyone tries to have unaccessed, illegal access to my computer system, they try to induce some malware, some virus into my system, they try to steal some data, hack into my data. How will I provided protection under the Information Technology Act? And then we have the Prevention of Corruption Act. So, in the Prevention of Corruption Act, what penalties are imposed on the public officers if they are involved in a corruption? There are different types of offenses: taking bribery or seeking help, providing any help, giving undue advantage. All of these things are there. So these are the different units, these are the different modules that are there in our BRBL syllabus. So the classes are going to start very soon, probably in the coming week only. We'll be starting with module C, D, and then we will cover all the other modules as well. Like I said, you're going to get the revision live doubt clearing sessions. You'll get the downloadable PDF notes, complete syllabus coverage for all your four papers. All right, you'll get full length mock tests, sectional, case study mock tests as well. Also in BRBL syllabus, there are no numericals asked. For the other papers, you are going to get the numerical based tests as well. Again, I will repeat, this batch, this particular paper that I will be taking for you will be in complete English medium. So your content as well as explanation. So that is all from my side. You are already there, you are already studying with us, so you will continue. And okay, that is all from my side. If you have any doubts, any queries related to the paper, related to the exam pattern, anything, then you can ask me. Otherwise, we are going to start with the live classes this coming week, and we will together complete this journey, finish our syllabus, and qualify the paper. All right, then. Thank you so much for attending. And there's the community option that is available if you go across the course. So if you have any doubts, if you want to ask any questions, you can put them down in the community option as well. I will be there. Your other mentors are also there to solve them. So thank you so much for attending. I will see you in the live classes. All the best. Thank you so much. Thank you.